how much better will Kyle Tucker have to be than Bobby Witt Jr., Gunnar Henderson, and Juan Soto to win the MVP on this Astros team? So it's a loaded question. I'm asking, does he have a shot? How much better does he have to be than the rest of the field, which I believe is those three individuals? And I'm kind of also saying, do you still believe that being on a bad team can hold you back? Because you may feel that, if Kyle Tucker has a fragment better of a season than those three guys, and he deserves to be the MVP because it doesn't matter how good his team was. Or will the Royals story, if the Royals get to the postseason and Bobby Witt Jr. is one of the best,
100%.
That's going to carry him. Juan Soto, the pomp and circumstance of being in the Bronx that first year, and he gets them to the playoffs, and he's having one of the best seasons in the American League. Or, if the Orioles kind of do what they did last year, they win 100 plus games, and it's the, young, exciting core that they have over there, and he's the standout player from that core, that could push him in. And then Kyle Tucker, if he has a little bit better than all those three, but he's on an Astros team that doesn't make the playoffs, where are we at on all that?
And I don't know if this is a take, but I feel like it's going to be easier for fans to accept any one of those other three names and the success of their team, and that will help them readily and easily overlook a Kyle Tucker, whether it's deserved or not, because of everything in the past with the Astros. And if they're not winning and any one of these other teams are, then it doesn't matter what Kyle Tucker's going to do. It just doesn't. And that's,
I feel like, fair or unfair, Kyle Tucker gets overlooked even when the Astros are good.
Fair. It's unfair that he's overlooked, because if you talk to people here,
but the observation.
Oh,
is that true?
Yeah. Yes, absolutely. And you want to know why? Is because I think people don't really appreciate the power speed combo that Kyle Tucker represents, his ability to move up 90 feet and also bludgeon the baseball. And I put together, I was talking to Jay Hay yesterday, just because I knew that they were facing Sears, a left-hander, and in my prep work like the night before and then that morning, just looking at what he and Yordan Alvarez and some of the other lefties do against left-handed pitching. And it's a fucking assault on left-handers. There's not another group of left-handers in baseball who hit left-handed pitching better than those dudes. And Kyle Tucker is a big part of that. But I think because of a guy like Yordan Alvarez and a guy like Bregman and the way that Pena burst on, winning the ALCS MVP, the World Series MVP, you were given reasons maybe to overlook Kyle Tucker for whatever reason. Obviously, what was happening on the mound as well. But I think if you circle back and just for 5 minutes spend some time looking over why they're good, Kyle Tucker's right fucking there. It's right there.
I'm happy that we're giving him his moment on this podcast, and I believe he should be an MVP candidate through whatever percentage of the season we are. But I actually think it's pretty understandable how you'd get to a point where Kyle Tucker was overlooked both league-wide and on his own team. Like, I think last season, season was the first year that he could make a claim as being the best position player on the Astros. I think the
Abreu slide, the Bregman.
Well, yeah, I mean, Abreu was never the fucking best position player on the Astros, but like Yordan, Correa departure, Bregman slide, Altuve being out for part of the season. Like last season, there was an opportunity for him to open up. Every single season, not to say he wasn't really good, but every single other season, I think you could definitively claim that the best player on the Astros was somebody that was not Kyle Tucker. Whether that was Yordan Alvarez, whether that was, the championship eras with Bregman and Springer and Altuve, Correa, that sort of thing. It was always somebody else. So he was always the secondary player on his own team. I also think your point about the power speed thing is correct. I think he is definitely overlooked as it relates to that. I know I had that stat from the last podcast that kind of teased this conversation, but I dug into it a little bit more. And I just want to reiterate that power speed thing for a second, because if you look at players, he's in his age 24 to 27 seasons right now.
Go to work, Jay.
Age 24 to 27 seasons. So he has the rest of this season to add to this, is kind of the point of that. There have been 14 players in MLB history to have 100 plus homers, 75 plus stolen bases, and an adjusted OPS of 140 or higher during that 4-season age span. And here are the names really quickly, because that's all I'll need to say about it. In addition to Kyle Tucker, Mike Trout, Mookie Betts, Christian Yelich, Ryan Braun, Andrew McCutchen, Vlad Guerrero, Chipper Jones, Barry Bonds, Darryl Strawberry, Eric Davis, Mike Schmidt, Frank Robinson, Willie Mays. That's it. Okay. So
a lot of MVPs there.
Yeah, a lot of MVPs, a lot of Hall of Famers, a lot of people who's at the very least their peaks were Hall of Fame caliber. In the case of like Darryl Strawberry and Eric Davis. In Yelich and Braun's case, MVPs. Like Kyle Tucker is at that level in terms of his production, and I agree we're still not there from a mental standpoint. But I think maybe this is the season that it happens, because I think in some cases he has ascended past Yordan as an overall contributor to the Astros. Like if his bat's really this, if his bat is as good as Yordan's bat,
yeah, that's not a reach.
He's a better player.
That's
right?
not a reach. That's not a reach at all, because Yordan is a clog on the base path. Yordan is borderline liability defensively.
He's one of the 10 best hitters in the game. But if this is more about Kyle Tucker, if Kyle Tucker is 95% of the hitter that Yordan Alvarez is, Kyle Tucker is a better player. Period.
Yes.
And because of what he does on the field and in the base paths. So if that's who he is now, then he will get his credit.